Hi, I'm Matt Suk with MINOX. After you've purchased your optics, one of the most important things to keep in mind is how to care for them properly. There are a few basic tips on how to care for and clean your optics. When it comes to cleaning your optics, especially binoculars, since they're usually not attached to any firearms, you can do it in a few different ways. The most optimum way of cleaning them is with water. Fill up a small basin of water. Not too much, just enough that your binoculars can be slightly submerged. Then put your binoculars in there and then dry them off first by simply shaking the binocular off a little bit and then using an optics cloth to clean your binoculars. Don't use a towel or a shirt or anything that might have any residue on it because that could scratch the lenses. A simple optics cloth found at any optometrist will do in this case, or anything also used for general eyeglasses or cameras. You can also find optics cloths at most good sporting goods retailers, for instance like the little Spuds optic cloths. Optics care doesn't stop just when you're at home. You also need to take care of your optics on your way to the field. When you're driving to your hunting location, make sure your optics are also carefully guarded. Don't just leave them bouncing around in your rig because there too they can get scratched, dinged, and so on. Best bet for binoculars, leave them in the Cordura carrying case or synthetic material carrying case with which they were delivered. That just keeps them a little bit more protected. On rifle scopes, you'll have those mounted on their rifle, but you can still keep them protected while they're in your car. One of the best tools is something like the scope coat. Our ZA rifle scopes are delivered standard with made in the USA scope coats. Now these aren't necessarily the best thing for when you're out in the field and quickly want to take something off and take a shot, but for traveling to and from and for general storage, these are really good at keeping dust and dirt off of your rifle scope, as well as giving it a little bit of cushioning if it's in the back of your rig. Now when you're out in the field, optics care can occasionally become a challenge. Now, obviously you're probably not going to be having them in a case. You'll have them around your neck or around your chest with a bino harness. But you still need to keep them clean, especially if you're slugging through dirt, it's been raining or snowing. Still, the best way to keep your binoculars or your rifle scopes clean in the field, aside from, of course, the optics lens covers that you may have that you should always keep on them, but if they just get some spray on them or some dirt, is still to use water. Now, if you don't want to use your drinking water, which is completely understandable, especially when you're out in the backcountry, you can just use the water from a creek. Now, of course, there's not always a creek handy when you need to clean your optics. So what do you use if you don't want to waste your water? Well, the best tool is something that nature gave you already, and that's your tongue. Now, just a little bit of saliva on your lens is all you really need, because then you can utilize the optics cloth, which should always be one of the first things you pack in the bag with you when you head out into the field. They don't weigh much, they're small. Some of them you can even clip onto your optics, but always bring those along in the field as well. There are a few other things you can use, such as sprays for optics. You can again find those usually at optometrists. You can also use something called a lens pen. Now the thing on a lens pen is you have to clean it after you utilize it, because otherwise all that happens is you keep the dirt, the dust, the grime in there, and you continually just rub it on your lenses, thereby scratching the lenses themselves.